Hi, welcome to another edition of Legal Quilts. Had an idea for today. I just found this new technique, quilt as you go, that would look really awesome. But it's hot as all get out, and this particular pattern is really heavy. So we're going to hold off on that one for a while. Also, it's still very much vacation season, so I wanted to do another simple project that is really on the go. You need just the fabric, a needle, thread, and clippers. It's so portable. It's Yo-Yos. See? Nice, simple, easy. It's the perfect portable project because you don't need anything but the circles and your thread to sew it, and then your scissors to cut the thread. Not thread cutters, because you can't get those passed onto a plane. They don't go through checkpoints. Don't use those. But these clippers might, unless obviously you can put them in your check-in bags, but you don't want to get. You can even do this on a plane. You can do this in the car, if you don't mind sharp, pokey things, and you're more careful than me. Because it's not a lot of undoing the thread and everything. It's just really, really simple. Going back to how hot it is, it's making me think I really want to do this, a tapestry quilt. Either the stripes, which is the new normal, I think you've seen it where the colors go up to show how warm it's getting, or the ocean temperatures one. There's two. Okay, I'm going to put the links to the tapestry project in the show notes. Theirs is for knitting and crocheting, I think embroidery too, but I've adapted actually the patterns and the colors to quilting, which can be really fun because they have things like midnight blue, and you go to the description of what the yarn is, and it's like it's a heathered dark yarn with hints of this, and it's like wine, really, with the hints of this and overtones of that. And I'm like, yeah, I quilt, it's dark, medium, light. But I've managed to match everything over to the Kona cotton colors, because that's got enough of them that you can do that. And I've done a tapestry quilt, and I think I've shown it to y'all. But the stripes and the ocean I have not done yet, and it's calling me with what's been going on. But I don't know, which one should I do? I'm going to also put a link to a poll that's just one question. Should we do stripes or the new normal, or should we do oceans? And it doesn't collect any demographic stuff, anything. It's just pick one, okay? So I'll have the link to that too. Vote on it, and that's the one we'll do in the fall. I will post the fabric requirements and everything with the link with the names of the Kona cotton colors. It's very easy to do. And like I said, I'll have the tapestry project in there too. So you can go check out their website. It's really cool, and it's a great organization. But today, like I said, we're still traveling. We're still having fun. We're still doing light projects as I just tangled up all my thread. But that's okay. That's okay. Let me see, what did I do here? Okay, that might not be too much of a problem. There we go. So like I said, you just need a piece of thread and your needle and your circle. This is a 4-inch circle, and I just cut it with my Cricut. You can do a whole bunch of them at once on the Cricut. The main thing you have to remember is, this started out as this. This is a 2-inch yo-yo, and this is a 4-inch circle. So you're going to get, the size. So it's about half the size. You can cut your circles any size you want. You can cut a 10-inch one if you want a 5-inch one. You can cut a 20-inch one if you want a 10-inch yo-yo, which now is bringing things to mind. That would be actually kind of cool. But just basically remember that your beginning circle is twice the size of what you want your end circle to be. All right, and then it's very simple. Once you've got your circles cut, and you can cut a whole bunch of these and just bring them along. See how portable they are? And if you cut them even smaller, like if you did a 3-inch, you'd wind up with a 1.5 inch. If you did a 2-inch, you'd wind up with a really teeny 1-inch, and I've done those. But that's even more portable because, again, you just have to bring a bunch of these. Cut a bunch before you go, you're all set. How you start, and I'm going to make sure y'all can see this. I'm going to get really close. I know now my hands look really huge. And thank you to whoever noticed my rings. Yes, that's my engagement ring and my wedding ring. My husband picked them all out. He has excellent taste. So you're going to start on the wrong side of the fabric and put your thread through first. And there's a reason, okay? But that's so that your knot stays on that side. And then you just fold it over about a 1/4 inch. You can mark your 1/4 inch seam allowance if you want, but I just find you can fold it over. Just fold it over, see? Fold over the right side onto the wrong side. And then, and again, I'm going to try to do this so y'all can see it. Move my chair closer so I'm not stretched out. Okay? I want y'all to be able to see this, okay? And then you just straight stitch around the circle. Do a couple of stitches, okay? Just in and out, straight stitch, turning it on the inside. And after a couple of stitches, pull your thread, okay? So you create, let me do a couple more so you can see this, okay? And they'll loosen as you come along, but eventually it'll stick, okay? But you just pull your thread so you get, see how you can get that little, there we go. Pull your thread so it kind of bunches, and I'm just pulling my knot out. So that's not helpful. Let me do a couple more here. Okay, don't tug too hard. Now, I know some people say circle all the way around and then pull it. I don't like that because you don't know where you're going to end up, and I'm always afraid I'm going to pull and the thread will break. I like to do it as you go along, and then you just keep going around and pulling, folding, and pulling. It's just straight stitch around, fold the right side over to the wrong side, and pull. And eventually your circle thread, see how it's kind of puffing out there? See how it's folding up like that? You just pop that down like that and keep going. And you can see now as you go along, you get all your circles done. You're getting your folds of the fabric, okay? Don't worry, they eventually start holding. And as you keep going, just go around and around and pull and around and pull. And you can do so many things. And this is just all it is, which makes it very relaxing because you're just going in a circle and you pull and just in and out and pull. And I think you can see how it's pulling together a little bit. See how those ridges are? That's the folds of the fabric, and you just keep popping it in there so your inside makes a little dent, and you just keep going around, all right? And when you get to the end, and I will show you that in a second, just keep going around. I'm going to cut out for a second, finish this, and I'll be back to show you how to finish it and then to talk about what else you can do, all the things you can do with a yo-yo, all right? So just stick around for part 2 in just a moment. And we're back. I know I could probably just speed this up, but I don't really know how to do that. So I cut and come back. And while we were gone, we lost power. Yeah, that was fun. Storm blew in. It's breaking up the heat wave, so that was fun. So you see, I'm almost all the way around the circle, and you can see how the fabric is folding and making up the yo-yo. So as you get near the end, you just keep doing what you're doing, okay? Just keep pulling in and out, in and out. Okay, and as you get close to, see, that's your starting point. See where it's straight, and then that's your starting point. You just keep going in and out, in and out. And of course, popping it out, popping it in so that you're making that circle with the smaller stuff on the inside. And by the way, I didn't say this before, you can use matching thread. I'm not, because I wanted you to be able to see the thread and see what I was doing here. And honestly, you can't tell. I mean, you can see a little bit of the thread poking out there, but that can just be trimmed. And actually on this one, I forgot to tuck it under. I didn't tuck under my knot. So you don't even really see the thread on this. I'll talk about when you do want to use matching thread in just a second. So you're getting down to the end here, and you want these last stitches to stay pulled together, you know? But as you know, as you're going along, they kind of loosen up. So get to the end, okay? Get back to your starting point. It's a circle, there's really no end. Get back to your starting point. And as you pull these tight, okay, you've just pulled your last circles tight, your last folds of fabric tight. Okay, let me see if I can do this while showing you. Stick your needle through the last fold, the last couple of folds, pull it through, and then tie your knot. Okay, and that holds those last ones in place that wouldn't be there otherwise. I like to double knot it so that they don't loosen up. And then you just pull that through and you're done. And you've made a yo-yo. By the way, Googling yo-yo is fun. You get the toy, not this. But if you Google yo-yo pattern, oh, that one didn't stay down. I didn't get through enough. But that's what it looks like when you're done. That one didn't come out as nice as this one. Got a little, oh, let's pop him out a little bit. And you got to pull him out a little bit sometimes to get your flat shape. And yes, you can press them flat if you want. Okay, that's not so bad. Little bigger opening, but it still works. It's a little bigger right there. It's not as pulled together. And that's going to happen when you hand sew things. Oops, came out a little bigger too. Huh. No, they're the same size. They're pretty much the same size. Okay, yep. So what do you do with these things? You can do all kinds of things. Like I said, if you Google, you get the toy, but you might get patterns too if you do yo-yo patterns. Okay, this is a cool one from Yo-Yos Applique, and it's called, there we go, so you can actually see it, Crabby on the Dock. Yes, I turned it sideways. It's, you applique the crab yo-yos done in the shape of a crab onto a pillow. I might just make the crab, but it's got the size in there. You use different size yo-yos, which again, if you're using your Cricut, no problem. You can just put in your colors that you need, you know. Oh, I need 10 large ones and 10 small ones, and yes, the lights are doing strange things around here. And I need 10 small ones of the dark. Okay, you can program the Cricut to do that. You're all set. And so that's the things you can do, is you can make appliques, you can do embellishments, you can just make a whole bunch of these and sew them together, just stitch them together. I'll show you that in a second. And make a coverlet. Or you can get wide backing fabric and sew these down on it and then put batting and backing on it so that you make a three-dimensional quilt, kind of. You can do so many things with these. You can make mats out of them, you know, just a nice rectangular one, or you can do any shape you want. This is a diamond, you know, with the 3 in the middle and then 2 going out in the pyramid side. You can do a pyramid. This one's kind of circular, so you can do circular ones with it. Like I said, you can do animal shapes. Yes, I'm going to figure out how to do a butterfly one, which would just be a pretty matte topper, you know. You don't have to, or you can embellish it onto something. Coasters, they make really great washable coasters. You do it like a hexagon, 1 in the middle and then the 6 around the sides. And these make really great coasters. And you would think that with the ridges on it, that it wouldn't sit flat. No, I've used these as coasters. They're great. And the best thing about them is They get dirty, you just throw them in the wash. It's great. So they make great mats for the table, all of these things. Now, I did say I was going to talk about thread. Like I said, this I just do something neutral. Doesn't really matter because it's not going to show. But when you're whip stitching them together, you're going to see the threads. So pick out what you're going to want to do. This one, it didn't matter because it's scrappy, so I just used white. Pretty sure I used white on this one, although you could have used yellow. This one, although it's got a lot of white in it, I chose to use red, so it kind of shows out. If you're using all one color, use that color. Pick a color you want to use. So you can make all kinds of mats of any sizes. You can also, and I forgot I'd done this, in this little center here, you can stuff, I don't know if you can see it there, yep, you can stuff craft polyester, and then, whoops, I just strung them together. You just run a thread through the middle of it. You might want to use something heavy duty, maybe use a thicker needle. And this makes a little wreath. You can make it bigger. I probably should have used more holly green, but you can see this is a holly wreath with the red berries in it. Might work better as a candle ring than a wreath, but you can make a bigger one. You can sew these together and make a garland for your tree and maybe put pretty beads between them. Speaking of trees, this is a little ornament. We start out with bigger ones and smaller ones, and then there's a little bead on the top to represent the star, the angel, whatever you put on. The tree topper, okay? So this is a really cute little ornament, and it's got the thread on it, and then you pull up your thread and tie it so it can hang on the tree. This is an even simpler ornament where you just stick a bead, button, or you can use a bead in the middle, and then tack on, and you sew. When you sew in the button on there, you're also sewing through the ribbon that's going to hold it. There are so many things, and there's patterns out there. You can do clowns, you can do dogs. There are so many things. This is just so versatile. This one's bothering me because it's so big. But it's going to happen. You're going to have some that have a little bigger hole than the others, and that's okay. That even happened here. You can see that not all the holes are uniform, but that's okay. So there's so many things. It is such a versatile, and like I said, it's very portable. Just cut a bunch of circles and take off, and you're done. And bring your needle and thread and your clippers, and you're all good to go. And then you come home, and obviously you even have less room. Stick it all in a little baggie, put the finished ones in there, and you're all good to go. So that's what you can do with yo-yos, and that's only some of it. There is so many things you can do with yo-yos, and again, you can do the different sizes. Like maybe this, you want to use a little bigger one, or if you're doing it on a garland on a tree, you might want to use some smaller ones. I think these are 1 inch, so I might have done 2 inches to cut these for coasters. Again, you want to do a big table topper. You make them bigger so that you don't have to make as many. It's just so versatile. So that's it for today. Most of these things, I know the mats for sure are on there. I don't think the ornament is. The ornaments are not on there, and neither is the wreath, I don't think, on the website. Go check out the website. I think I'm going to have to add one for ornaments. Add a section for ornaments. So please, but also, National Sew a Jelly Roll Day is coming up. It's September 16th. That's about 7 weeks away. If I get to 500 subscribers on this YouTube channel, I'm going to go live that day. It's not going to be all day. It'll probably be about for an hour because that's about all y'all can stand me for. But so tell your friends about it. Subscribe, like, comment, subscribe, share. Every little bit helps. And of course, if you want to buy me a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, there's a link in the show notes where you can just buy me a couple bucks. Just throw a couple bucks at me so I can keep doing this. Or buy something off the website. Which also the link will be there, and it's in the QR code at the end. I might drop the QR code because all the links are down there. Although that does have all the social media. Find me on social media. Tag me with what you do with your yo-yos. I want to see how creative you get with your yo-yos. So next time is going to be the one I was going to do now, except it was hot as I'll get out. And you're going to love it. I fell in love with this pattern because it's another really simple one, although it's all machine. You're going to have to do it on machine. Technically, you could do it hand sewing, but you're going to want to do this on the machine. But it's amazing and it's great. And then I think there'll be one more in August, and then we'll have the big roundup on Labor Day weekend. So Scrap Summer is almost over. Scrap Summer 2 is almost over, and then we'll get into Work in Progress Winter, which, again, go vote in the poll. Again, that'll be in the show notes. I don't care about demographics. I don't care where you're from or anything. Just go vote. Okay? It's a simple yes or no thing. So that's what's upcoming, and I will see you next time. Take care. Stay hydrated if you're where it's hot. Stay safe if there's storms coming, and I'll see you next time.